identifying whether an year is leap year or not. This is a very simple Python program that is used to determine whether a given year is leap year or not. Here, for an year to be a leap year, it should be satisfied with two conditions. That is, that year should be divided with 4 and leaves remainder as 0. By the time it does or satisfied this thing, it should also satisfy when the year is divided with 100, it should leave at least any remainder rather than 0. If this condition is not satisfied, if this entire condition is not satisfied, then that year should satisfy at least this piece of code. It should be divided with 100 and leaves remainder as 0. If any of these two statements were satisfied, then that year is said to be known as a leap year. Here, what we did is we simply defined an year, and the year here it is 1900. And if this 1900 is satisfied, either this condition or this condition, then it will be a leap year. If not, it falls under else statements and print as it is not a leap year. Let me check what happens here. 1900 is not a leap year. Why? Because it fails to pass this condition. So it entirely fails to pass this entire condition. Specifically, it fails to pass this condition. If this 1900 is divided with 100, so that it won't leaves any reminder. It leaves reminder as 0. But our intention is to leave a reminder at least 1 to have that year to be leap year when it is divided with 100. Right? So that as it fails this condition, it fails this entire condition and falls under if else statement and prints it as it is not a leap year. Oh, let me check it with 2000. Mhm. Whenever I enter 2000 here, I got result as it is a leap year. Since it is satisfied with this year can be divided with 400 and leaves remainder as 0. Now let me check it with another one, that is 2025. Mhm. Oops, it is not a leap year. It is not a leap year since it fails all the conditions. It fails this condition, it also fails this condition. So that it directly falls under else statement to print it is not a leap year. And let me check it with year 2020. So when I'm executing this, 2020 is a leap year. Why? 2020 will satisfy this condition and also it is satisfied this condition. If it is divided by 4, then we will get a remainder as 0. And if this year is divided by 100, it falls under having a remainder. So it won't leave remainder as 0. It will definitely leave some remainder. So as it satisfied both these conditions, then this entire thing will fall into this statement and prints it as a leap year. We were having another approach also to solve this problem. That is by simply using definition. I will try to explain it the best as I can. Right. So whatever I have did here is I simply made a definition to check whether an year is leap year or not. This is the definition called check leap, and it is accepting a parameter called year. And whenever I'm I'm going to satisfy either this condition or this condition, my entire thing will be true. In the sense, I will return true if this thing or this thing is satisfied. Why? Because we are operating here with operators like and or. These are logical operators. So if we do like this, then we will get answer in terms of true or false. If any of these condition becomes true, then my entire uh, program returns true. If it is true, so that it falls under like okay, I will let you explain within the second line or third line. Whatever I did here is year. For this year variable, I am accepting year, in the sense I am saying that I want enter an year. So this will be printed in our console. So to take inputs from the console, we were using a definition called input definition. So these pre-existing definition in our Python programming. So to get input from the console, we use input as a definition, and what type of data we are required will be entered over here. Next, as we done like this, whenever we were going to give some input from the console like this, whenever we were going to 2020, we were accepting some data from here, from console to the program. That data will be in the form of string. So we explicitly need to change its type by making int as typecasting here. We use int as a keyword here to typecast the data that is came from the console to the program, right? So as we did typecasting here, now this year variable is a integer type of data variable, as it is storing the data of an integer type. Now, whatever we are doing here is we are printing, and here it is some string concatenation that is about to have some good output in our program. So, leave about this. So, F in apostrophes, here it is year. So, year is leap year, and if check leap year, in the sense, if check leap year is true, in the sense we are passing this year to this if statement, and what this particular definition is returning means whether one answer is true or not. It is simply saying that whether something is true or false. So if it is true, then it simply gives answer as true. It returns true, and it will become true. If this if statement is true, then only it will print F, in the sense year is a leap year. So that particular year is a leap year. This line will be executed if this condition is satisfied, and else if this is not satisfied, if here became something returned as false, then then it fails to execute this line and comes under else statement and prints year is not a leap year. So I think you got an idea about how this leap year program works. It would be somewhat trickier to understand for beginners. So what happening here? So as long as you do programming, you will came to know that what is happening within the entire piece of code. So don't make yourself to be stressed over here, and continue to learn other Python programming codes. Continue to my channel to learn top 100 Python programming codes.